1 2 1 2. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Parabolical eSports. This is Premier League action. It's round 17. It's Friday night. I hope everyone's well and they've had a good week at work. As we kick straight off with a new follower. God damn! Shahid Sharaf. I hope I haven't butchered that, pal, but welcome along to the stream. I hope you're still there. Good evening, Tommy, mate, and good evening, and a thumbs up to Equaz. Okay, we're just waiting for Farhad to join. Other than that, as soon as he's in, just letting him know we're getting ready to go, and if he can get himself in. Oh, there he is there. So he's going to jump into that Alfa Romeo seat, and everyone can ready up who's listening. If you want to start with you. Oh, and I see you've already joined the server as well, mate, so welcome to the server. Mr. Bradfield will be in touch with you momentarily, and if you want to see your trialist in action, you're about to see him tonight. Right, so that's... Yo, Theo, how is everybody? Well, I'm very well, mate. Getting ready for some fantastic racing around here. Of course, Suzuka, Japan. 18 corners. The only, as you can see there, the only figure of 8 track on the calendar. I love this track, mate. I actually decided I love it. Because an ELR did so bloody brilliant at it. No, it's a proper racing track, innit? People call him for Sly Guy in the comms box. Well, why didn't you get him in the comms box? I got thrown in here last minute. Oh, well, I'm off the Discord now, mate. I'm on the... Evening, Dobrev, a.k.a. Styles, a.k.a. Goku. How are you, mate? Right, so far, to kick things off, we've got sunny skies. Hello, mate. And we've got a full grid, and I'm going to quickly get up your good stuff. There we go. So we'll quickly run through your reserves tonight. We've got Luke reserving for McKenty. We've got Farhad reserving for Cowie, and they're both going to be driving the Alfa Romeos. And we also have the reserve of AC Immortal. Of course, AC Immortal going to be racing this track 3 nights in a row, I do believe, after he's jumped in the night. So he raced last night, he's driving tonight, and he's going to race tomorrow. A Sly Guy has joined the lobby. Bear with us, then, mate. I'll invite you to the party. Why not? If you want to do this, I'll quite happily be your cameraman. So there you 3 reserves in tonight. Is that, yeah. So we're right on board with Tree Slayer, as he's the first one out on track, and he's the only one out on track at the moment. Although I do see either Plotters or Tommy, one of them two are going to be making the way out, and Starburst is on the mediums. So hold on, let's navigate this then. Yeah. I'm still, there we go. Let's add player. Are you online? There you go. There we go, he's joined the party. Good evening, Sly Guy. How are you, sir?
It's good. I'm happy to be here to be able to join you guys on comms.
Oh, that's good stuff. The man, the myth, the legend that is Sly Guy. And if you haven't seen his name on the world record boards, you need glasses. So, no, mate, pleasure to have you here. I'm I'm a little starstruck. I'm not going to lie. I've got to admit, you're one of the best drivers I've seen, especially in this league. So, no, welcome. Talk to the lads. I'll leave.
I'll take the compliments, but we've got some laps to watch out here, I think.
We'll have. So we'll jump on board with Tree Slayer. And he's on his hot lap. So where's he coming now? In fact, he's nearly finished it, isn't he? He's coming round into turns 13, 14. Yes, this is Spoon, isn't it? So I'm going to come down this back straight at 130R. Of course. Upshifted a little late there for me, but what do I know? He's coming into the final hairpin. It's Dobrev says Sly Guy is a legend. I concur, mate. Now what does he do? Does he keep it right? Of course he keeps it right. And that's a benchmark of a 29.8. There we go. I believe the next one on a lap is Plotters. No, it's not. He's invalidated. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, mate. And if you don't know that voice, we've got Bradfield joining us. There we go. So I guess we've got both. Is it fair to say we've got both sides of the coin here? Yes. Sly Guy being yin and maybe you being the yang. Bradfield, shall we say? And I'll just keep my mouth shut. No, but how are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. I just
Good,
need to
good.
start picking up some points now.
Right, well, what we're going to do, we're going to keep our mouths shut, and if Sly Guy wants to jump on board with Tango, do you want to talk with straight through Tango's lap?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It'd be
so
my absolute pleasure. Yeah, so he comes down the main straight now. You know, just normal stuff into turn one. You know, it's a very long run. You want to brake as you hit the inside curb, which you see he does. Just a bit of understeer, just gets washed out on the curb there. A bit unfortunate. But he had confidence, which is better than nothing. This is just about keeping momentum. This Farhad goes fastest by about 3/10 at the top, which is good to see. Through here, you just have to be confident. You just have to be committed to the line you take. You can't back out once you've committed, otherwise you're going to lose so much time. But he keeps it consistent. He keeps it nice through sector one, if we ignore the slight mistake in turn one. Now through the two Degners, he keeps it pretty decently committed and keeps the inside line, keeps the pace through the corners. Braking late, using third gear for rotation, which is good, gets good traction as well at the hairpin. Now this is going to set him up all the way down to Spoon, which is debatably the most important corner on the track, as AC Immortal goes fastest by 13 thousandths of a second, so that's good. Braking just after 50 meters. Unluckily just washing out the front end again, touching the grass on the outside. But he keeps it within track limits, so it will be a good banker. Obviously, we're going to see him go faster and faster, as we'll see everyone do towards the end of the session. You know, 13.0 middle sector split, that's not too shabby. So, and we've seen the mistake, so it's not like he won't have the time to improve. Braking it around 100 meters, chucking it into the chicane. Keeping the traction on the exit is very important here. He keeps it to the line, keeps it to the right, you know, he turns on the DRS, and 29.8, it's a good banker, only 3/10 off the fastest time, and he made multiple mistakes on that lap, so he's definitely got the pace to be towards the front end of the field.
Oh, Sly Guy, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I know how to waffle my way around a lap.
Right, so from commentaries, and I'll just leave you in the cans of Sly Guy. So for me, goodbye everyone, it's been a pleasure. Take it easy, take care. See you again. Yep. No, but quality, mate. Quality, obviously you know what you're talking about. And you know, he doesn't need to go off topic. But with regards to track, I was just looking. So pole position time last night in the championship was apparently a 28.5. So
I'd be expecting probably a 28.2, maybe a 28.1 from some of the fast guys that yet set laps, such as Tommy, and you know Menace Max, who do a lot in the Premier League, in the top division as well, in the Champions League. So you know, if we're expecting people to be towards the front, we're expecting the ones that do reserve in the top tier and are full-time in the top tier as well. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them pushing almost to 27s, maybe low 28s by the end of Q3. But I think a lot of people, they'll just be thinking about getting through the end of this session and maybe trying to start on the mediums in Q2 for the race on Q2. Because obviously starting around here on the mediums is such a massive advantage. So if they can get that, if they can get through turn 1 on the mediums, they're going to be in a great position. So, you know, it's just about keeping it consistent, just not making small mistakes, especially in the first few runs of Q1. And then towards the back end, we're going to see who has out and out pace and who can actually keep it on the track. As I say that, I see sweet MGP Bennett in the first sector through the S's, so good timing. I'm disqualified for the wrong way.
Was he really?
He
Nice one,
certainly has
Codemasters.
been.
As far as goes for a 28.9.
Oh, there he's come up now, yeah. So, yeah.
It just shows Codemasters great at making the best game.
Plenty of time on it though, they still fuck it up.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's about a 10th at the top now, so it's getting quite close. Is they're already breaking into the 28s in Q1 on the old softs.
Vio's done a 1:29.3. That's a great lap for Vio.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
got good qualifying pace, but he seems to struggle race pace. We'll see what happens.
Well, if you want to talk about Theo, he has my analogy of Theo. That's what he did when he first started, isn't it? He improved his one lap pace and then caught up with his race pace, and then he's done it again. So he's just taking it one step at a time. So it'll not surprise me next season that racecraft will come on. It's just all experience, isn't it? He's such a. It's the one thing the young'uns are just lack in life, isn't it? Really. He has me speaking like a wise old man. Believe me, kids, I'm not. But nah, it's just experiences are lacking. No one says that yet. No one's. Hey, I've met some kids. I just think freaking hell, he's smarter than me. That little sod already, you know what I mean? But hey, I respect that. But I'm just looking for a driver who we can get on board with. I'm seeing a lot of invalidations. Tommy's invalidated. Equaz is invalidated. I'm going to put the pressure on there and say a lot of them are going to be affected having Sly Guy watching them. And I would be. I'm not gonna lie.
Affected by.
Oh no, the critique. Oh, it's one thing getting critiqued by me, but when, like I say, when Farhad retires, you know, your reputation precedes you. So anyway, we're looking towards the bottom now. So Jake the Slayer, what's he doing? Let's finish this lap off with the race engineer then, as he comes round towards Spoon, lap 12. So again, it's about a 50-metre board just past there, isn't it? Hooking it in. He didn't hook it in as much as I've seen people just getting that banker lap. And like you say, it's just all about getting that first time on the board. As you can see, he's going to be well down because he's already into the 111s and he hasn't even completed sector 2, so we don't want to waste your time. Luke's in the pits. Tommy, he's come to the end of sector 1, so we can have a ride on board with Tommy as he comes through. Is it the Degna's there? Degna 1, Degna 2 again, but he's invalidated coming out of there. So again, it's just about getting the eye in for some of these drivers then.
Oh, we've had a massive crash, I think. Is that Plotters, did I just see?
He's took a spin, but no one's out.
No spin, I just saw a yellow flag.
Yeah, but we're going to finish off Menace Max then as he completes sector 2. Coming through, that's a purple sector 2 for him, so coming through 130R now, just keeping it nice within them white lines. A lot of curve on the chicane, entry and exit. But he didn't really attack it as much, but it's still going to be, well, it's not, it's going to be slow for Max really, isn't it, with a 30.3. Don't know if Max struggles around here, but that wasn't the best time for him. And let's have a quick look at sector 1, see if he's even going through there slowly. So one thing you got to say about Max, though, it doesn't matter where he starts at the race. Towards the end, he's up there and thereabouts. Like, he's so consistent. So Bradfield now. Okay then. Do you want to walk us through Bradfield's lap then?
Oh, don't.
Sly guy. Go on. We know Jake's gonna love this.
Right. Okay. Coming down towards turn 1. It's a decent line through turn 1. Probably one of the better ones we've seen so far. Keeping it tight in 6th gear, down to 5th to be able to keep the rotation in the rear end. Up in 6th again, down to 4th for rotation as we see, 5th for traction, because you just have to keep it. And as you can see, the pressure gets to him, having Sligo commentating. Yeah, through Degner 1, Degner 2, you have to be so committed through here. You almost have to spin on the inside curb to be able to carry any speed through there. And you can't risk it in a lot of laps, which is what we're seeing. We're just seeing safe driving here, just keeping it consistent, just trying to keep it on the stuff. Because at the moment, Theo actually bins it, which is interesting because that means whoever makes it into Q2, there's going to be way less people. So only 4 people will be out in Q2, which is interesting. It's retarded out of 2, but back with Bradfield down towards sector 3. You know, at this point, you just got to be thinking about finishing the lap. Nice glitch purple sector on the minimap. Breaks just at 100 meters, gets it turned in, hits the apex, hits the second apex, you know, short shifting to 4th, keeping it as far to right as possible. Runs out of ERS, but goes P10, which in a session where loads of people still have not set a lap, that, although it doesn't look that good, you know, you can only get faster and faster in theory, so.
Thank you very much. Right, we'll better give a quick shout out to Swanee in the chat for doing the 300 bits. Thank you very much. Jeff the Slayer's put his hand in his pocket for 100 bits as well. Thank you very much, mate. Jake Wilson with 100 bits, which was a match. So 2 lots of 300 bits from Swanee there. Thank you very much, mate. God, does anyone else see how far ahead he is in the leaderboard? Like, he's 82,760, mate. That's just like an absolute fucking mental number. It is. Sorry for swearing for all the young ears there, but yeah, man, this is going to be Swanshanks racing soon. He's going to take over with all these bits. But
Tommy was that size lap. He could have got traffic in someone there. That would have been interesting.
I'm actually on board with Tommy now as he comes on the first 2 corners. Yeah, so it's just like you say, confidence through here, but keeping them lines, them inside curbs are killer for me. I mean, they're
killer for everyone. It
doesn't
matter what setup you're running, you can't touch them.
Yeah. Then if I run out a touch too wide there, but yeah, commit to that over that. I mean, that first curb on Degner 1 there, that's probably the only curb I'm like confident of going over.
Yeah, it's one of the few you can actually touch around
just attack it, yeah, just to set up the next part. Again, this right-handed straight, as I like to call it, turn 12, because it's just flat out through there then. Keeping it in between the lines there on there, turn 30 in the first part of Spoon, to make sure you get a good exit out of Spoon. So, compromise speed all the way down here if you lose it out the turn. And does he hook it into the curb? Oh, it doesn't run out at all. Now what's he do with the chicane? Attacks the first curb, attacks the second curb. See, I don't even...
He'll be on for pole here.
Yeah, it is a great time from Tommy. And he's in the 29s, that's third. In P1, that's a good little time there at this moment. And track evolution to come. Hopefully it stays dry through the session. So, was someone out the way there? Yeah. Bradfield's one out the way, so we're having a look. Where's he, Quaz? He's going to come through the final chicane now. Obviously a slow first time from him, as Kazza says, go on Tommy, the goat. And Equaz only up to P10 with that time there. Hopefully that'll get him through. Knowles on an out lap, 4th now. He's coming down to 130R. As Nosey just starts his lap, and again it's a purple sector 2 for 4th. So I just assume that these are personal bests as opposed to...
No, the game just glitched. Sometimes it just randomly gives purple sectors. So...
Well, when it does it for me, I get a bit of confidence, think I'm on a personal best, so I feel a bit more confident.
Oh, I'm going to be out. Never mind. Start from the back.
So,
no, you might not be, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not out.
I can't finish this lap.
Slayer finishes sector 2.
Actually, no, yeah, Drake's
He's 3.5 tenths up, aye, so he's going to knock you down. Oh, he lost it mid-corner though on the chicane there. That's going to cost him a bit of time, but keep it right, keep it right. And he's up to 14th, he does knock Bradfield out, unfortunately. But I mean, you've got Argentina and Nosey still to come, and we're on board with Argentina now. As you can see, Irish ADHD, but we all know him and love him as Argentina.
That's it.
And he's going to come through the final chicane now. Yeah, we're seeing that, Jake. 3/10 it cost him that bump on the inside. So Argentina now. Yeah, Argentina. Oh, as we just tried to get on board with Nosey, and he shot up the screen there. I didn't even see where he finished.
I was 4 attempts up on my other lap, man, and then went out of fuel and spun it.
4 practice laps, that were totally valid, says Tommy. Well, Tommy's through to Q2, so good practice for him. What's that? So Farhad takes P1 in that first session, a 10th ahead of AC Immortal, so the 2 reserves doing from the championship, looking good in Q1, but of course, anything, that's just making sure, this session just making sure you get through, but the 5 we're all losing is Sweet MJP for a stupid glitch. Hopefully he can get over that. Luke didn't set a time. Argentina and Bradfield are going to be on the 9th row of the grid, the 2 Aston Martins, and Jeff the Slayer and Theo out in Q1, so... Aye.
So Young, Tommy and Pot Stuff actually using 2 sets of softs in Q1. So that's going to put them very far back on the strategy in Q2 and Q3, because that's really going to limit what tires they have. So I know Tommy, he did probably 2, maybe 3 flyers on his first set of softs. I'm not sure about Pot Stuff, but both using 2 sets of softs, that's going to compromise them for the entire rest of the session. So it's going to be interesting to see what they try. Tommy's probably going to try the mediums in Q2, if I know him very well.
Yeah, he might do just 2 laps at the end.
Great spot, mate. Great spot. I wouldn't have noticed that, but yeah, drivers using 2 sets in Q1. Yeah, exactly.
Something interesting to note here is because Theo spun in Q1, we only have 14 drivers in Q2. So only 4 people go out here, so that makes it significantly easier considering what he was near the front of Q1. So this is going to reduce so much stress on those who might be under pressure in Q2. So it will also make it easier to get through on the mediums. So those who want to risk it, they're going to be even more, motivated to try for it. As we see Dylan already out on track, first driver out, he's on softs. So I don't know if these are going to be used set or if they're going to be fresh and he's just going to go for it, or if this is going to be a banker. But interesting to note, he's already out on track, first driver out, a good 10-20 seconds before anyone else.
Yep, so like you say, I'd expect this to be a banker myself, and he wants to utilise every second he has in this session. Like you say, Oh, carry on, mate.
Oh no, what I was going to say is I personally expect him to purposely invalidate this lap. Because what I personally do is, first run in Q2, use the Q1 set of softs and invalidate on purpose. Because that gives you a good delta for whatever you do at the end of the session. That way you know what you have to be aiming for to get through into Q3. So whether you're starting on the mediums or softs, you still have a relatively good delta. So if he does invalidate this lap, I would not be shocked. So we just see. As you can see, AC Immortal, Farhad both trying the mediums, Tommy on the softs, and Teresa also on the mediums. So there's definitely some split strategies for the first run. We're going to see, you know, everything come together towards the end. We're going to see what tires people are going to be on. But at the beginning, it's looking split between mediums and softs. So we'll see. Maybe it's the front runners trying the mediums and not knowing if they'll have enough pace. Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I know, mate. Your mind works so much different to mine. Like, you just, every little detail, man. I'm just sitting here thinking, why didn't I think of that? How didn't I think of that? Now you think about it, it's so logical, but it's just certain things just never even crossed my mind.
Dylan's there he goes. And he spun.
As Keza, I'll much agree, saying that you're the GOAT on these comms. So
I just know what I'm on about.
Jeff, exactly. That's the thing, mate. You know what you're talking about, and for, like I say, people. He made a reference. He says permanent day next season. I say, thinking about it, if you want to, obviously you want to race in the top division, but if
that's for another day to discuss. We have quality ups to be watching, not me talking about my future.
No, I was talking about your future on comms. Is that? But as I say, the lads jumping ahead of themselves and me. You say, why not? Jake would love to have you as part of the team, I'm sure. But anyway, like you say, we're on board. Who's out next? So I'm on board with Tommy, but it's Tree Slayer next. There we go. So he's mediums. So, like you said, getting that first timing on the mediums. See what his pace like compared to the softs. I mean, again, last night, I think someone qualified only 0.3 ahead of KD on the softs, and KD was on the mediums last night. I can't remember who that driver was, so some drivers can really make the mediums work for themselves. Because I'm sure the gap on when I get the delta up, it's like 1.2 seconds. So anyway, Tree Slayer with on the mediums, so there you go.
Good lap. Is that young Tommy?
Red Bull, no, you see, Immortal must have invalidated. Keza. Hello, Ariel. I don't know what Keza's saying hello for. Keza, sorry, I know what Ariel's saying hello for, but hello to you. I don't know why Keza's saying me. You better. Sunshine says Dobrev. Are you writing all this down? I tell you, mate, I'm going to go back and rewatch this. Some valuable information I'm hearing as well, mate.
Can I just say, the fact that there's 19 thousandths between the top two, that on the mediums as well, it just kind of shows the pace at the top end of this division. It's just quick. There's no other words to say. It's close and it's quick, which you do just love to see. And the respect they all have for each other.
That's it.
Oh shit, Keza, of course. See how quickly my mind farts there, mate. Yeah, so it was Keza, only qualified 0.3 ahead of KD last night. So, thank you very much, mate. So Menace Max is going to be next on the mediums. And he goes quicker still with a 29.5 as AC Immortal goes quicker again with a 29.2 on the mediums. So this, God, within a session, this track has really evolved, hasn't it? The times that they're putting in. Well, they're pushing more as well, aren't they? They've obviously got to push in a bit more than from Q1.
Because we're seeing, 29.2s on mediums. I don't actually know the delta around here between the two tyres, so that's one of the few flaws that I have. I didn't do my research. But it's fine, I'll just pull up F1 2021 on my PC real quick so I can have that knowledge in front of me.
Nice one. We'll let you go.
Absolutely,
anyway,
absolutely. Trying to quickly. So Starburst goes through the final chicane. He looks like he's pushing it on the soft tyre, so he just wants to get into Q3, I think.
Yeah, as you can see,
Starburst,
P2.
yeah. P2
Great
for
lap.
Starburst with a 29.4 from him. So he's got to feel comfortable getting through, but he's going to be on the alternate. So we're starting on the softs. Would that be the alternate strategy?
I think if he can get the jump off the line and if he can just pull away, it will definitely be the way to go. Plotters actually goes P2.
Oh.
Only half a tenth off AC on the mediums as well. If you can get off the line well on the softs around here and you can pull away, it's so worth it. But the problem is pulling away.
Oh, a little bobble from Irish there.
Yeah,
It's
as you can
compromised
see.
him there, yeah.
There's just so much to get right around this track. It's so technical with the not able to touch you inside curbs at sector 1. You're having to be so careful on acceleration out the tri-chicane. It's just such a driver track, no matter how you look at it.
It's just the thing I fear for Starburst. I mean, if he's only third on the softs, come the end of Q3, is he going to start in 10th? And he's going to be on the softs, and everyone ahead of him is going to kind of be on the mediums, aren't they? So has he just
Is this a blunder on the strategy? Because if he does start at the back end of the top 10, that would be interesting. But you know, we still have people yet to do multiple laps. And the thing is, we're seeing people do multiple runs.
Dylan's lost it there at the end of turn 1. Sorry to interrupt you, but he's kept it out the wall, so he's going to.
And the AlphaTauri as
well. Must. Yeah. Was that Tree Slayer? It might have been Tree Slayer. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. May have gotten taken up. Well, he would have had his concentration altered for sure, seeing the ghost of Dylan there.
Yeah. I don't think Dylan can be blamed for that, but it's still going to be massively off-putting just seeing a car off to the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
P3 there.
Yep, just caught that.
Great lap, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are just like little things that are standing out of us already. Softs are good at the start of the race if an early safety car comes, but mediums are the best choice.
If there's an early safety car, expect someone on the softs to pit and put hards and try to go to the end. That's all I'm going to say, because the hards can make it to the end from, beginning of the race. They're going to be completely dead at the end, but the fact that they won't have to pit is going to be such a huge advantage that it might just be worth it.
Excuse me, so Dylan, just having a look at Dylan there. Oh, well, I jumped off him, sorry. We've got another yellow flag. Has someone gone out? Oh, we're getting yellow flags. Yeah, we're getting yellow flags. There you go, 1, 2 and 3. I cannot see what that's for.
Yeah, I think it's just the game being great.
Yeah, great stuff to see. So, right, we've been talking about championship last night. Let's ride on board now with the administrator and our lobby host. So if the lobby glitches, this is who we blame. But he's gone again and his fuel light's flashing already, so I wonder if he's made a slight blunder by going again. Like I say, that first split time there, of course, 14 seconds under, because like I say, we've just caught him having a spin on his last lap. He comes round, nice. So important to get the exit right on that hairpin there. Set yourself up for, like I say, this flat out turn 12. And so, where were we last week? France. So it's like with France, a lot of the corners set you up for the next corner. Whereas I feel with Suzuka, with the exception of the turn 1, when you go along these straights, you've just got to be patient till you get to your braking zone. So it's all about concentration for me. And he's going to keep it right, coming through to put his time in. That's P5 with a 29.5 from Dylan.
Something to note, Tommy's actually purple in Sector 1, so expect him to have a very good Sector 2 and Sector 3.
As he comes to the end of Sector 2 now, yeah.
We'll be able to see
he's got a split
2.1
time.
up, so he would be, 29.5? But obviously he did a slow soft lap at the beginning, so with seeing at worst, he's fighting for P6. But he's going to have a way better Sector 3 probably on this lap, which will probably put him towards P2. P3 literally half a tenth behind his teammate, so McLaren's looking strong.
Both McLaren drivers have been strong this season, definitely. Across all the leagues, pound for pound, they're a solid team. So yeah, that's a good solid lap from both their McLarens.
The only thing I'm worried about is why are people doing so many laps on the mediums they're going to be starting on? We've seen people towards the front end do multiple flying laps on these sets of mediums. So that'll be an interesting thing to think about, because although obviously in the game it will say 0 flying laps, they're going to have, what, like 5%, 6%, 7% more worn tyres than guys who've only done one push lap on them. So
what's the best strategy to start from the back then? Just mediums?
If you're starting from the back, you almost have to risk the softs on the mediums, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if there's an early safety car, you have to go hards. If you're at the back, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But you can never really tell. As Dylan bottling spoon a little bit, I think he just locked the rear end, or he just cut it all. Actually, no, he cut it because he was all out of fuel. And Aussie as well, having a bad spoon, invalidating as well. Menace Max going P3, 6,000 faster than Tommy. Farhad going to the top by almost a 10th.
Oh, and he, of course, has lost it through sector 1. Whereas I think it's our turns, either turn 5 or 6. But I think, was he there? No, it's not. Yeah, so there he is, out of turn 6.
I think people now, they should just come into pits. There's no point in doing many more laps because you're just going to be wasting your tyres. And something to actually note is, if you let the AI drive at the end of the session, once the checkered flag's gone, they do so much damage to your tyres. And obviously if you make it into Q3, that's going to ruin your starting tyres. So you don't want to finish your lap under the checkered flag. You actually want to do your own in-lap and not retire before you get into the pit box. So those who we see doing slow out laps, they're going to gain a lot in the actual race by just having these fresher tyres. And by the way, I have found the delta. It's about 5.5 tenths between softs and mediums.
Is it really?
According to the game, it's 5.5. According to the game, it's 5.5. But something tells me it'll be more.
I thought it would at least be a second.
Just be how I drive then, isn't it, mate? Right, so I'm just looking there for best time. There we go. So the only driver through to Q3 on the softs is Starburst, and that's in P7. So I mean, with the utmost respect, you've got to fancy him to be starting P9, because it looks like Equazar, with Equazar going out. Well, I mean, so far, because we've got Irish Nude Potato. Irish Nude Potato. 4th, not coming out the pits at all this session. Hot stuff going really, really slow, out of fuel. So yeah, Irish Nude Potato coming around the hairpin now, turn 11 into 12. So he puts Treasley at risk. Well, kind of got to fancy him to do this with him being on the softs. So as he's coming down this bit straight now into 130R.
Yeah, about 3 tenths up on his time. He's looking to do a 0.5 here, which would definitely secure him as long as he doesn't have a bad sector 3. He keeps it relatively clean, short shifting 4th, up into 5th. Yeah, he's definitely got this. He's definitely up into Q3, but once again, I think he actually went faster.
He did. On my screen. That was a poor lap there. I just caught
maybe he just
had
a bad sector 3 on his first lap. So that's actually interesting, because we're thinking, what, 5 tenths off of that?
Yeah, but he's only P1 by 0.02 of a second there.
Yeah, that's something to think about, because he did a 29.8 on the mediums earlier on in the session, and that only put him P12,
yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But as you can see, majority of people opting to go for the mediums because it's just the more consistent race tire. Something I can say is starting on softs at most tracks is just not worth it. That's why you see so many people trying the alternate strat around here, to the point where starting on the softs is now the alternate strat. Because at high deg tracks, high wear tracks, it's just, not worth it to any extent. Because you're only going to get, what, I'm thinking 8 laps, 9 laps at most out of softs around here. Push them 10, maybe 11. I'm not too sure, but...
I've heard a good tyre wear that will get you 10. But
Yeah,
anything after
exactly.
that, they're just falling off the cliff so much.
Yeah, the only problem with that is, with good tyre wear setups, you're going to have no pace.
Exactly.
You really do have to be on the limit of tyre temps, on the limits of tyre temps, you're going to be on the limit of tyre wear, so it's just going to be seeing who does what now in Q3, because we either have people doing 2 flyers on fresh softs, or we have some people using a scrub set of softs in the first run, and then the free Q3 set in the final run. It's just going to be interesting, because this is just going to be an all-out shootout. So it's just going to be who can set the best up and when. You know, if we had to look at it now, we're saying Farhad's favourite for pole, fastest time in Q1 and second fastest in Q2 at only 200ths off of the soft runner of Irish New Potato. So it's going to be interesting in Q3, because obviously we've seen the entire grid. Well, I think the top 9 were separated by like 3.5 tenths in Q2. So I'd say anyone who gets a relatively good lap in has a decent shot, as we can already see one of the McLaren spinning of plotters coming out the exit of Sector 1 towards the 2 Degners. But yeah, it's just going to be about keeping these tyres cool, because they will overheat in Sector 1 if you're running an aggressive setup, which, you know, we're expecting from most of these guys, because if you're pushing for pole, you want to be running the high pressure setups, and the only problem with high pressure setups is they're the ones that overheat your tires. So it's really just going to be who prioritizes what. But once again, Dylan first out on track, Farhad second on track, so, you know, it's going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, anyone in this division can win a race. Anyone can get pole. It's not out of anyone's capability. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And like you say, Dylan first away now. So like you say, coming down to turns 1 and 2, braking after turn 1. Yeah, who can match the confidence, the speed, you know, and the composure to hook it all together? You know, it's so easy. You get sector 1 wrong. But if he's looking all right there, from what I've seen, that's a 32.4, but he does run wide, so he's had to lift there. So you see, at this point now, any little mistake like that's going to cost you pole. Or capitalising on a mistake like that can get you pole. But he's pushing it, so coming now around Spoon. Oh, is he going to really attack this? Tucking it right in as close to that curb. A little bit of curb on the way out. No, keeps it all cool. So sector split time now of 1:12.7. So it's still looking decent from Dylan.
12s.
Yeah.
Behind does a 12.3.
So that's 4 tenths quicker than Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan's going to be putting that time in regardless, and that's a 29.6, which I'm straight on board with Farhad. So is he going to be 4 tenths quicker, or even more? Oh, that's a 28.9 from Farhad. So what's that? Just over 6 tenths there from Farhad. There's Irish New Potato there. Goes a 29.6. That's all right, mate. Tree Slayer with a 29.2. So all them jump ahead of Dylan. So again, that mistake between the 2 Degners has cost Dylan on that one. And
yeah, Tommy's backed off on his lap. He might be going for 2 out laps here.
Oh, his Plotters. Sorry to interrupt you. He goes purple with a 28.7. That's 2 tenths again. So his teammate that backed out, did you say? So he's going again. And he's got some clear air in front of him.
Are we looking at a low 28, or are we going to push a 27, do you reckon?
Oh, Tuna. I just caught that one, mate. Appreciate that.
Not to be pessimistic, but you're going to have to set a rapid time around here to get anywhere near the 27s.
What sort of time would you do? 127s?
I personally can't say anything because I don't want to reveal anything for tomorrow. So
Yeah,
my mouth is firmly sealed.
Fair enough.
I'm not talking about what I'm able to do in an online session.
I think
because
I
TT
know.
and online are very different.
You probably do a 127.
Nah, mate,
In
I'm
the
going to do
127.
125.
What? Sorry?
Yeah, clearly I'm going to be doing 125s.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me.
I'm starting to wonder if Sly Guy's getting a paycheck for being with it tonight, Justin.
Yeah, I reckon.
Is Jake just sliding him a paycheck?
Yeah.
Putting in, he has my esports driver right here, but no, obviously.
Quick question, Slugger. Are you in the esports scene then? Have you ever been invited to do it? Is it quick enough?
I have not, but I am in contact. I have been in contact with some drivers who are in challenges and in esports itself.
Yeah.
I can't say more than that.
Fair enough.
But,
No, that's fair play. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Go for
Again,
it. Or I'd say just go for it. If you got the pace, you got.
Give it a few years.
Give it a few years. Fair enough.
Oh.
Menace Max doing a 12.3 in the first.
Yeah, that's
he's looking for pole as well. Going back.
Well, even in a few years, Slugger, I hope you're still with us, and you get these fast drivers in as well.
There we go, 28.9. As I said, he was literally on par with Farhaz. 12,000 slower. It just shows. And you know, we'll see if I stick around. I plan to, but you all know things change.
You never know.
Well, that's it. You never know. You know exactly. Well, you've certainly been a pleasure to talk to through qualifying. Certainly, you made me realise a few things to possibly help, but
it's just the way I think. I think you
yeah.
kind of put yourself in these situations where you have to think differently, and that's almost a thing. It's more how people think that affects the end result, because a lot of people have a lot more pace than they see. It's just they don't think the same as other people, and that's what costs them. Is we're seeing people finally go out for the final run of the session, maybe starting with Tree Slayer, who's actually at the end of the pit lane now. I don't know if he'll be going for a double out lap, because it's a bit early to be doing this final run, 4.5 minutes. But yeah, that'll be an interesting one to see. There's AC Immortals coming out as well on my screen, although I'm not sure if that's lag, because I don't know. The game just seems to have to be desynced against him. Tommy as well coming out. So we have a lot of people coming out relatively early in Q3 for their final run, maybe scared that they're going to invalidate, so maybe they're fueled up for 2 flyers if need be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
As Jake says, you've done this before. Commentary, you're a natural.
I've actually never done it before. So, in fact, this is my first time ever doing it.
Yeah.
He just knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, and you're just comfortable talking. Yeah, you just seem comfortable. You
know what you're talking about. You're confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent.
And what I'm taking away from it, you're very humble about it as well, mate. I'm going to give you them props as well.
That's what we like about drivers.
Yeah.
We don't like drivers who think they're really quick and give it all the big.
I still think I'm slow. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I still look at myself and see I'm slow because I compare myself to those at the top of esports. So compared to those guys, I'm a few tenths slower. I see myself as but I've actually run the numbers now. Soft to medium is the best race strategy for this one. We're looking at about 10 laps on the softs and mediums to the end. So it'll be interesting to see who does that, who tries maybe the soft meat hard for the undercut. But Teresa now starting his final run, so this will be interesting to see.
It certainly will.
Nice through turn 1, turn 2, getting it in towards the apex for the second apex. Just blowing it through the corners so nicely. This is probably the most satisfying section to get right on the game, or one on, so I can say that it is an absolute joy to drive when you get this part of the lap hooked up.
Yeah,
you can see he's got it for the most part completely hooked up.
Oh, and he's coming up with AC Immortal.
Yeah, he does have a bit of traffic here.
AC Immortal though there. Good spot from him, yeah.
A good 10.5 up to there was at the end of Sector 1, so we're already looking at a good mid-point 1, low point 1. Which would already put him ahead of Irish New Potato, but we yet to see what he can do in Sector 2 and Sector 3. You see Dylan and Tommy behind on their flyers, So it's really anyone's game, as we said before at the beginning of quali. Anyone who sets the good lap time can be towards the sharp end of the field. Just can we see the consistency as Farhad coming out the pits, I think, moved out the way of someone. Thought he spun. But yeah, no, Teresa 2.5 tenths up. He's definitely looking to almost go for the P4, maybe even fight for Farhad in P2. We just gotta see how committed. That is beautiful, that commitment in the final chicane. And as we can see, he gets the reward for it. Literally, look at the gap from P2 to P5. That is less than half a tenth, covering 4 drivers. That's insane.
There you go. I'll just get the lead at times up there for people to see and appreciate that.
Tommy's 1.8 up. He's done a 12.0 through the middle sector. So he's on an absolute stonker of a lap here. Would not be shocked if he takes pole from his teammate provisionally, because obviously his teammate still gets to do his lap. And if Tommy's done this right, he might even be able to get a second flyer out of these softs if he looks after the ERS. And as I said, pole by 300ths. I did say he was on for it, and what can I say? But, you know, we got Starburst starting his lap. Yeah. Dylan's coming to the line. 29.6 and 29.2, sorry. My game's just refusing to update his lap. No, it was invalid, never mind.
Yeah, he's invalidated this and next. Starburst, DC Immortal.
Through Sector 1. Farhad's going through Sector 1. Tommy's not pushing for a second flyer, so...
He's not, no.
Yeah. So he's content with his lap, maybe knowing they won't have enough to improve.
What as... Trislia and AC Immortal, so it's going to be Starburst next. He's just come through the hairpin. Like I say, he's really slow first lap from him, but this is kind of what I was referring to earlier with the, like I say, I like Starburst. He's a good solid driver, and he's held his own in this. But it's kind of like the same position I'm in, isn't it, when I get to this division? just at that back end. You know, the one lap pace mightn't necessarily be there, but he's definitely got the racecraft. As we've seen the other night in ALR, just a plug for the partners there. But yeah, he's going to go up a position at least in anyway. That's a 29.4. That's what I mean. It's not a... Well, it's still over... What is it? 7 tenths
Irish
from the leader.
0.7 as well. Half. Look at this. Drivers in the 0.7.
It's incredible. Look at it.
Plotter's about 700ths up through Sector 1. Tango doing a 0.5.
Yeah. Tango takes pole. He has. Who's next? Who's
Farhad
next?
coming to the end of his lap.
Farhad, he's just crossed the line.
Not enough to go up a place. Just secures it a little bit further to Menace Max, who's 10th up to the end of Sector 1.
Plotter's there. He's about to finish Sector 2. Is he going for it? Let's have a look at his.
12.0 as well, same as what Tommy did. So he's also on a pretty good lap ahead of Plotter's.
Plotter's half a second down there, I'm afraid. Menace Max 3/10 up, according to my screen there.
Yeah, it was.
Can he get to P2 at least?
P2,
there you go.
Coming to the line. This could be
AC Immortal. I think he's missed it. Yeah, AC Immortal unfortunately has missed it.
On my screen,
he's seeing. Oh, there you go. Just set. He's just put in that his time didn't set, but there you go. It has. It's desynced.
That is close, though, isn't it?
Isn't it just? So
that is crazy.
Just like last night, the pole time is a 1:28.5. Let's say the top 3 tiers here, they really are good competitive. Immortal may have to leave due to desync. Yeah, if he quickly leaves and restarts his app, or if restarts the game, sorry, he gets back in off that.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a problem though. But,
yeah.
As we said, we're now looking at the race start here. Those who are towards the front end of the field on the softs, I'm thinking someone at the back end of the field will be trying to start on the softs, maybe even start on the hards and do the reverse. There will be someone going for something different towards the back end of the field. I can just call it now, because Japan, you just can't overtake it in Sector 1. Especially on lap 1, you just have to be so cautious. The beginning of the race is going to be a huge decider, as it always is, but even more around here. It's more like a, what's it called, a street circuit, to any extent, with the lack of overtaking in Sector 1 and how Opportunities only really come for dive bombs in the hairpin if you're close enough in spoon and maybe into chicane in turn 1. So there's only at best 4 overtaking spots, and even then only 1 or 2 of them are really viable. So it's really going to be who can get the jump off the line. Like, if we see this grid is too close. Top 6 separated by less than 2/10. So, as I said earlier, it's whoever gets the lap in gets the track position.
As I've just seen Jeff say, Argentina's had a pipe go through his house. He can't race.
Shit.
Aye.
Well, that's
so
interesting.
Looks like, I don't know about you, but it has absolutely blown a gale up here
Well, it's coming
outside.
our way. It's like you're in the northeast, aren't you? It's coming
I
our
am.
way as well.
Aye. Well, yeah, so unfortunately, just I don't know if he'll be ghosted if he's already left the session. I don't know. It might just be his AI because it's just disconnected. We'll see. But just be aware, everybody around. I mean, around him. I think he's towards the back. Well, he's at the back next to you, isn't he, Justin? So he shouldn't.
Yeah.
If it is a ghost, though, he will take off straight away, and we'll just be able to get past him. But just in case any.
Claimed that he did a 0.5, and we have footage of it, so he actually got the fastest on his screen. But due to the desync, he's put in P4. He got fastest by half a tenth, so...
Yeah, I think it said 0.7, didn't it, when it came up? Well, I'm
yeah,
sure it said 0.7.
Yeah, he had a 0.7, he was between the two McLarens, if I remember correctly, but he did a 0.520 on his screen, so... the desync is really costing him this race, because he would be on pole, and, you know, he wouldn't have had to leave the session and miss probably the beginning of the first lap, so it's just a shame, because you never know, because Japan is such a processional track. If you can't get the track position early, it's really going to cost him. An interesting thing, though, we have to look at who's on what tyres.
Which we can see all 3 are being used at the start of this race, so I don't know if Justin's been listening to you there, Sly Guy, but he's opting to start from...
See, the thing is, if you're on the back, you have nothing to risk.
Yeah.
You really do have nothing to risk. I mean, you have everything to risk. You have nothing to lose, quite literally. If you break your wing and spin, you're already at the back. And with Japan being how Japan is, it's going to be a struggle to overtake. So the fact that he's putting himself in a position where he has the chance towards the back end of the race to just go on the soft and bolt, because he's not going to have tyre problems at the end of his medium stint, like at the end of his hard stint, like the medium run as well. So, especially those inside the top 10, like Farhad, you know, he was looking to be the fastest guy, and he's only starting in P7. He'll probably get up to maybe P6 straight off the start because ACM Mortal's Ghost. Because he's disconnected, I don't know if he'll be able to get in the car in time for the start of the race. But it's interesting because someone that we thought would be, you know, on the sharp end of the grid, down in P7, definitely has the pace though to make it through. Obviously, at the moment on the formation lap, he's at the back because probably a spin. Don't know, tactical or not, but never know. But we do have a Merc 1-2, so great to see the realism.
Absolutely. Yep. So we've got a second row, like you say, of Tommy and AC Immortal. Hopefully AC Immortal can get back into his seat before the lights go out. Miss Forth and Nosy have had a little coming together. And we've got a third row of Plotters, Irish New Potato, a fourth row of Farhad and Tree Slayer. Starburst and Dylan are your fifth row, and then the drivers who had a free choice of tyre. So we've got Equaz starting on softs. So he's the only driver, well, apart from Argentina, but he's been disqualified, and I think he'll get disqualified straight away. So, but he's the only driver on the softs.
A name that we do have to bring up here is Theo. Like, starting in P15 on the mediums, fresh mediums as well. Again, we saw he had the pace in Q1, so he's going to be in a similar position to Farhad here, but Farhad's going to be on the, 3 push-lap old mediums. So we're going to see some of the fastest guys having to work their way through the field to an extent. So it's going to be an interesting one.
go. It looks like we're going.
Yeah.
We've got the lights, but we've got no revs yet. Although some are into first gear. We have the gone. We didn't see the revs, and they are gone. And the two Mercedes look like they've got away okay. Tango with a better start, actually. Menace Max is under pressure from Tommy straight away as Tommy goes wide out to turn 1 to tuck back in for 2. So it's looking through. There's Argentina has not left the starting block, so he's going to look out for him getting
we've got a spin
disconnected.
there.
Yeah, AC Immortal.
There's a few.
He's out. Irish New Potato. He's dropped
another one
position.
gone.
AC Immortal there. Jake the
Safety
Slayer's out. Jake the Slayer's out. He's lost it coming through turn 3 there. And I don't know if it was Argentina's car, but Argentina's car didn't move, so safety car is out. As Jake gives the first FFS of the day, so they got a couple of corners out of it, and we'll have a look at position changes. Equaz there made an absolute blinding start, up 5 positions after only about 3 or 4 corners. Farhad, he's up 3 positions. Luke, there's, he's just put in the comments, he's gone up 6 positions as well, from 19th to 13th. Theo as well, like you said, Sly Guy, he's up 4 positions straight off the start into P11. Again on the race starts is Jake, got cut off and then damaged and spun. Well, you know the score, mate. Get it in and I'll look at it, and there's, we can see AC Immortal, who isn't in his car unfortunately, is down the bottom there. And Tree Slayer, he's 18th, so he's the last of the runners. Is there anyone coming into the pits? No one at the moment. There's Pot Stuff, he's got a penalty. There you go. So Starburst, Sweet MJP and Tree Slayer all into the pits, so they've looked like they've had damage or taking spins. Thank you very much. Is that a double stack? It is. Tree Slayers having to get double stacked as well. I mean, any other time I guess you would say that's a bad thing, but they're at the back in anyway, so I don't think Tree Slayer's going to mind too much. He's lost 1 position, and unfortunately Starburst at the back again. I wonder if his strategy just, he made the wrong call and he was out of position, and unfortunately he might have come a crapper for that. Right, should I shut up and let Sly Guy talk? Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I've just been quietly watching. I've just been
Yeah.
analysing the start, you know. Yeah, as we can see, we have a few of the soft runners pitting in for the hards. I think it'll just be interesting to see who does what now to the end, because the safety car changes almost nothing, let's be honest, because no one towards the sharp end pitted. But this will definitely help some of the people that did a lot more laps on their tyres than they should have in Q2. Such as Farhad, we saw did like 3 or 4 flyers on them. You know, who else did a lot of flyers on them?
Tango. Tango, I think, put
well.
4 laps on his, yeah.
Exactly.
I think he's
so those
done the
who've
most.
done a lot of laps in Q2, this is definitely going to balance everything out for them, where they were in quite a bad position. So it'll be interesting as AC leaves again. So yeah, there's definitely some connectivity issues here. So, but we all know who to blame for lobby issues.
Yeah, that'll be the Irishman we're on board with right now. Currently in 8th place. Yeah, but we've all been there. Unfortunately for AC Mortal, it's his turn again. His turn tonight. Just have a look. 2 Haas, Theo, and Nosy there. And after they'll try to work together or battle each other going into the start. So you've only got 3 runners now on soft tyres. Sweet MJP, interestingly enough, pitted for softs.
Yeah, I'm confused about that one. But you know, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name in P6 because I'm going to bottle that horribly. But yeah, no, the Red Bull and Irish New Potato, definitely going for something different off the race start. Obviously on the softs. We'll see if it works. If it does, if they can get through this traffic, then obviously it will pay out for them.
Oh, what's going on there, Luke? Sake.
Please, we have to have PG language for impressionable children watching the stream.
We've got 29 viewers have been waiting for over an hour to hear that. Just wait until it's in that green flag race and they're going to love it. No, you can...
Dickhead.
Any damage?
Yeah, I've got wing damage now.
Oh.
Fuck's sake. Why is he fucking slamming his brakes on there?
Oh, you actually have no wing. I think the worst part is safety cars coming in this lap.
Oh no.
You're going to be right down. This is interesting tactics.
Typical Bradfield Jakes, yeah.
As far as too far back now, it will. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. It is
Fuck's
coming.
sake.
Tango slows it down to about 40 miles an hour, which is exactly what you need to do. Because of how short Sector 3 is, you have to slow up so much. He's gone already, which is actually interesting. So, he thinks he's left enough. He's dropped his team up by about 1.1 seconds, and, you know, he's already using ERS. Everyone's going to be using ERS at the final corner. So, no one's really going to be able to make a move to turn 1 unless they get a beautiful run on someone.
Farhad, the only driver in the top 4, not using his battery at the start. Like you said, everyone else using it all the way down that start from the straight.
Put me on softs as well for some reason.
Bradfield pits for a set of softs. Oh, we've got another yellow flag though.
Luke spinning.
Yeah, Luke has took a spin. He's back on track. I wonder. Well, visuals there, his wing's fine.
Probably only 8 can't trust the visuals. There we go. Is that Morse's
Bradfield's, for F's sake, is a staple of Premier League comms. Well, unfortunately, mate, at this rate, it's going to be Championship comms next week. Nah, just last dig though, mate. Just knuckle down and get this. I've got no... I know, mate. I've got no time, so I don't know who's doing what. But what we can see...
Beautiful move there from Far.
Farhad.
Him out of the hairpin, just committed and going past hot stuff.
Oh, Far. Sorry.
Yeah, this will only make Theo enticed to go for this move even more, because you can see that Potstuff is weak, but Potstuff is actually saving his battery. He's got about 20% more than Far. Maybe knowing that this isn't when his race is happening, and maybe it'll come later. So, as we can see, Tango, everyone's saying fastest laps, okay.
Yeah, I think that changed about
Tango the fastest lap, then just everyone gets faster, so interesting. But Tango actually saving his battery. He's got 10% more than his teammate. So, as you can, when you're in the lead, you can just afford to do what you want. It's almost beneficial to them in the constructors if he just keeps Max in his DRS for the time being. Obviously, I don't know if they'll be thinking more about drivers or constructors, because I don't really understand the mentality of these guys, because I'm not here every week. I don't know what the championship looks like, but you think in theory he'd want to keep Max in his DRS so he can keep him ahead of Tommy.
Great point, absolutely. As far as teammates go, like most of them, yeah, they do play the team game. You know, both Mercedes at the end, week in, week out. Like I said about Max before, but Tango's the same. I mean, both Mercedes drivers are in the top 3, and I think Tommy here in P3 is in between them on the championship standings. Is on board with.
Try and slipstream Dylan into 130R. Turns off his battery. Dylan's still using his, but the slipstream is actually okay. He's keeping up with him without using battery. So will we see a dive into the chicane? I think we will.
Yeah, the inside he goes.
Sends it. Does he leave room? Yeah, just enough.
No. I don't know. I think he might have squeezed him out there.
I mean, he won't get penalised for it, but it was very, very on edge, I would say, personally. But, you know, now he has 2.5 seconds to catch up to the soft runners ahead, who, we're expecting to pit in you know, upwards of 5-6 laps, and then they'll be able to get a massive undercut on this entire medium train ahead of them. But they'll be the ones with track position. It's just they'll be on cars that are what 5-6 laps slower to begin with. But every single lap they can keep them behind is only going to benefit them towards the end. So again, it's just a game of multiple hands because the undercut around here is so powerful because of the extra grip in Sector 1. So we might even see, again, not even going to try and pronounce Red Bull's name, an Irish new potato jumping towards P1 and P2 when they pit.
So
as
the
we
way
see
I
Theo go for the move on pot stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the way I pronounce it, it's E Quasar. There you go. That's how I pronounce it.
I think it's funny if I just don't pronounce it.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Plotters keeps it close. Carhard's definitely under pressure though. He's got 10% less DRS than Plotters, and he's burning it all the way down the straight.
Yeah, I'm on with Plotters. Is he going to make a move up the inside?
Nosey going for a move in 130R. Things we love to see. They're keeping it side by side, and Ostaf actually keeps the position around the outside. Although Nosey breaks way later into the chicane and gets the position, so beautiful racing.
Yeah, I love much better there. Much cleaner that time.
Coming back at him though. This will be an interesting one into turn 1. The Hotstuff's turned off his battery. Nosey just keeps around the outside, heavily committed. Stuff you love to see. It's nice clean racing at the moment. Gap staying relatively small, so this will be an interesting one throughout the most of the field. Yeah, just can these front runners make the mediums ours?
And just keep jumping backwards to the top 3 there, riding on board with Tommy because he's holding the gap. And we're all staying within a second of each other. At this moment, I think Tango might be wanting to pull away. He just can't. And you just see there.
I can say the DRS is so powerful in this game. It is a joke. You can be multiple tenths that fast than someone, and you still can't break out. You can catch up to them so quickly, but breaking out the DRS is an entire different challenge. You have to either break the gap early on before the DRS gets enabled, or you have to be so much quicker than them. And the problem around here is, don't really have much lap time till they break it. It's literally just Sector 1, the rest of the lap, there's not much time to gain or lose, so it's going to be hard for Tango to drop his teammate, and that means it's going to be hard for him to drop everyone into the top 6, because they're all just starting to DRS train up now. Well, yeah, we can see Sweet MJP going for move on pot stuff maybe into turn 1. Nosey gets the fastest lap, he's going to go past Theo into turn 1. Theo does not fire it. Things we love to see from Haas. Sweet MJP goes past pot stuff as well on the main straight. Tree Slayer going to go for it round the outside on Starburst, who spins himself on the curb there. There's no collision between them, that's just unlucky. That's what happens when touching this like curb.
Dylan in fourth took a spin.
F1 fourth as well has done something. Yeah, he's spun, but luckily he's ghosted. Otherwise that could have been chaotic on the racing line. But once again, top 6, keeping it within DRS range, so nothing's really going to unsettle those at the top, so we definitely do need to see someone picking soon from one of them. Try something different on the strategy, maybe.
Yeah, some possibly new potato trying an undercut on Equator here. Maybe he's try to close up a bit of that time as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, I mean, I'm sticking the overhead on Tommy, and you're seeing all the top 5 in the same shot with the Red Bull just in the distance there. So yeah, I think pace-wise they're all sticking together. No one's this is where they're waiting to attack, and his Menace Max is closing the gap. Yeah, Max is going for it. Is he going to go around the outside? No, switch back, maybe? No, he just backs out. Doesn't need to go further back.
Nosey gets past Dylan as well into turn 1, before even turn 1. With the ERS advantage and with DRS and switching, that was almost guaranteed. Hot stuff drifting through turn 1. Just got to that on my screen, so that was interesting.
That's 2 overtakes now by Nosey.
Getting the switch back on him in turn 1. Squeezed into the curb, and to be fair, Starburst keeps the position in P15. So again, the entire field is just having great battles, so it's actually a nice surprise. I would have expected this to be completely processional, no one going for moves, but we see people risking and going for it.
Oh, right from the start of the season, we said any driver can finish first 1 week and then last the next.
Yeah, quite literally, it's actually almost too close.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing you get, I mean, it's never incident free, of course, but they're so respectful of each other, and yeah, and they understand that, hey, racing's racing, and if that gap's, you're going to try to go for the gap. You know, if they're going to go for that gap, then they've got to expect someone to go on that gap against them, you know what I mean?
One thing to watch here is Dylan on Nosey. He might go for it into turn 1. He's close enough. And since Nosey won't be within the DRS of Irish New Potato in front, this could be interesting. No, Dylan's got a interesting exit at the final chicane.
Yeah, but Max again, closing that gap, getting right in behind his teammate, but he's just staying behind him.
He's actually forcing his teammate to waste battery, something I've noticed. A few laps ago, Tango had a good 10-20% battery advantage as Fast gets past Pot Stuff into turn 1. Now they're equal on battery, quite literally, both on 52%, so it's interesting, you know, we're starting to see the Mercedes force each other into wasting battery, which is definitely going to make it interesting towards the back end of the race, when they're going to be using absolutely everything on the softs, and it's going to be interesting to see, does Max go for the undercut, maybe? Or will he, you know, have to take the number 2 driver preference by being second on track and have to wait for Tango to pit first? Although usually we don't see that too much in the game, because, you know, he might see it.
You're not wrong there, mate. So, I mean, question, at what point does the slipstream become, like, dirty air? So, are this
all the time? Quite literally, whenever you're within a second of the car in front, sure, you're getting the advantage of DRS and slipstream, but there's always going to be dirty air.
Yeah.
It's quite bad. It's not something I've noticed is it's nowhere near as bad as real life. So people who complain about dirty air in the game, it's quite literally, as Luke gets past Starburst actually through Spoon, Starburst just spins himself. I'm not sure if there was a collision there or not, but no, honestly, dirty air it's interesting. Now Max actually has the ERS advantage on his teammate. Nosey, as Irish New Potato actually pits, so he's going for the undercut. We're going to see where he rejoins, because it's going to be interesting. But yeah, as I was saying, dirty air is always going to be there whenever you get in the slipstream. I think he might come out right behind Luke, which is going to be the opposite of what he wants. Maybe even behind Starburst, because you want to be in clean air if you're going for this undercut. No problem now is this gives Equator, hopefully I got that one right.
Yeah, sounded good to me.
You know, a chance to pit and, you know, keep the track position, because once Irish New Potato catches up to Starburst, he's just going to be getting so much dirty air. As you say that, yellow flag somewhere.
Someone's just there.
That is Luke in sector 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame. VSC for that. Interesting.
Oh.
He actually has no wing. So, VSC now, you know, the leaders. This is definitely going to say Equator can definitely pit. He's 100% going to pit now, but the leaders, they can't afford to pit for another, what we're thinking, 5 laps, 4 laps?
Minimum, isn't it?
With my strategy, yeah.
I mean, if the soft tyres, they're going to be looking, around end of lap 15, lap 16, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, oh, the Mercedes doing some interesting tactics here.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Equator's 100% paying at the end of the
as Tango comes into the pits, I wonder if that was...
Tango comes in.
He certainly does, and he's
going to the hards. He's going to have a horrid pace towards the back end of the race, but... And the VSC's ended while he's in the pit lane. No, this is a strategy blunder from Tango then. Because sure, if it had stayed out the whole time he was in the pit lane, it would have been okay, but the fact that it ended when it did means he's only maybe saved a second or 2 at most, and
yeah, he's gone
onto the hards, so he might have good pace now, but once the other leaders come in for their softs, and they're going to be so much faster. They're going to be probably upwards of a second and a half, something like that, faster a lap, so that's probably almost costing the win to an extent here if he can't get the pace up on these hards. Because I can tell you this now, heating on the hards is horrid. You have to run completely different setups from softs to hards to be able to get them to work. And the thing is, we all know he has to have run the softs as Luke now pits to change his front wing, putting him back down to last. But setups have to vary depending on what tyre compounds you're using, which is why we sometimes see drivers struggle so much on the softest or the hardest compound. Because the majority of the time, people make setups for the middle compound because it's what you expect to use the most in a race. The only problem is pressure's having such a big impact on this year's game is it really does hurt going onto a compound that you've not set the car up for. So will we see any of the leaders try and respond to Tango here? No, they're all going to stay out. So yeah, Tango's definitely blundered the strategy. Max knows he won't be able to defend from Tommy. He's just not even wasting any battery. Very smart from him. 30% more than Tommy, and keeping P2 for the time being. Knows it's not worth fighting him for the time being. Just save the battery, keep the track position to an extent. As long as he doesn't fall too far back, this race is still his to win to an extent, because you want to be P2 majority of the time. You want the DRS, you want to be able to just save. There's actually a spin in sector 3 here for Irish New Potato coming out the front of chicane. But you always want to be P2 in a train, because P1 doesn't get the advantage of DRS, and P3 you have the car in front of you with DRS. So the only problem is now Tommy's almost breaking away from Max, which if this happens, this is almost race 1 for Max, as we see another red car spin. This time it's Starburst. So people are really starting to spin now quite often and quite commonly. So maybe the tyres are starting to go for those who started on some tyres and are trying to eke it out until the softs can go to the end, which is only in, what, 2-3 laps now?
It is, mate, yeah. Sorry I wasn't taught. That was absolutely great stuff there. Honest to God, you're just a wealth of knowledge, mate. I could have sat and listened to that for another 10-15 minutes. I kid you not.
Before I had actually into the final chicane. No, he backs out of it. I would have expected a dive from him. But he could go for a good exit. No, he doesn't touch him as I curve.
So again,
not going to get the run. And yes, since they're both using DRS, as we see, Tommy second the fastest lap, but he couldn't break out the DRS. And he's wasted so much DRS that it might not have been worth it going for the race lead there. But now Tango on the back of pot stuff. He's already made his pit stop. Has pot stuff? I don't think so. Will pot stuff fight? Pot stuff's actually fighting it to an extent, which is going to massively cost Tango if he can't get through into turn 1 here.
Ooh.
And he can't.
Ooh, and it's cost him.
On the inside curve. This is absolutely detrimental for his race. I was already saying it's been a strategy blunder, and that spin on the inside curbs only made it 10 times worse. This is going to be him dropping almost P5, P6, depending on where Quasar and who's the other person that started on the softs?
Irish New Potato.
Irish New Potato, but he's actually out of it. I don't know what's happened to him, but crazy. There's now Starburst and 80's DC car coming to the pit. Starburst changing the wing. So that's completely changes the outset of the race. So Quasar's probably going to take the race lead when the leaders all pit. Tango, what, 3-4 seconds behind him now. It's completely changed the pace of the race, because we were thinking, sure, the leaders are all going to come in and get track position, but now it's completely flipped the race on its head. As once again, we're just going to see Menace Max maybe go for the move into someone, probably not. He does have a 20% ERS advantage. None of the leaders coming in just yet. I think we're going to see our first round of pit stops lap 15. And the rest of them will happen on lap 16. Maybe someone try and push it to lap 17, but any further than that and you're just wasting the soft car life. So yeah, it's going to be interesting who out the top 4 is going to try and pull the trigger first and try something. His plotters almost spins on one of the curbs through sector 1. Completely unsettling the balance of the car, losing a good 3/10 to the guys in front. But now it's just about trying to keep the gap. You know, for Menace Max, he's losing so much time in sector 1 due to the dirty air. It's crazy how bad it affects you in sector 1 alone, let alone the rest of the lap. Teresa spins. Luke gets a 3-second time frame as well, just to compound with his issues he's had this race. It is just too close to call at this point in time. Because with, just over half the race done, we're still yet to see them go onto the faster tyres and be able to attack each other with no real restrictions. The only issue is the McLarens. Being on the same team, they can't afford to be on the same lap, so I have a feeling Plodders is going to do the opposite to Tommy on this lap. So if Tommy doesn't come in, I have a feeling Plodders is going to go for the undercut and come in this lap, do something different to the other leaders. So Tommy is basically controlling his teammates' race right now.
And I know they are communicating with each other in a party as well.
Yeah, you would hope they would be.
Yeah, they definitely are.
We
So
see
there you go,
everyone
you
but
called
Tommy
it.
come in, he's going to get absolutely undercut. He's going to have to push with
As we see, someone's getting... Oh, I think Farhad might have pushed into Max there, and Max is getting wing damage just on that pit entry, you know. Or was it Farhad who it was? It was the other way around, sorry. Farhad got wing damage coming through the pits there. Ooh, I think it might have been his own fault, though.
If Farhad and Max both lost time, this puts Plodders up into net P1. You have to remember this. And with Equazar actually jumping him, going into the net race lead. So as I said, Equazar. And if whatever happens, sweet, Irish new potato, as he spins again, coming into the pits. But Equazar now takes the net race lead. Sure, he's on old mediums, but if he can keep and use the dirty air to his advantage in Sector 1, this is almost his race to win. So, because Tommy's going to come out probably ahead of Farhad and Menace Max, but behind, obviously. Actually, still, Tango's in P10. He's in net P3, even with the spin that we saw earlier. And even with him on hard, so don't count anyone out just yet. It's going to be a very interesting end.
Absolutely.
Menace Max, Farhad, both losing so much time, but have so much more battery than Plotters and Equazar.
Yeah,
Equazar's only got 15%.
Menace Max, Farhad, they've got nearly full battery.
Exactly.
Tango, half battery. Plotters, he's on 80%.
Plotter's going to go for a move into 130R. This is going to be something to watch.
Yeah,
maybe
there
he'll
he
get it
goes.
done before 130R.
He certainly did.
Yeah, he just does. He gets the move done in.
Can he get...
This is going to be massive.
Can he get pot
Tommy
stuff
stays
out
out
of the
the extra
chicane?
lap.
Oh, now.
Tommy still stays out.
How much time per lap is he losing there then?
That's the interesting thing to call. I can
Go
tell you how
so
much he's
far.
losing in sector 2 and 3 on that lap.
Yeah,
And...
as we're just seeing Plotters going into turn 1. He gets the move done on pot stuff to move him up to P4.
Yeah, he lost about 7-8 tenths to his teammate on that last lap.
Hold on.
And his teammate's in traffic. So how long will it be until he's behind Tango, Farhad and Menace Max?
Yeah, you've got to fancy the longer Tommy stays out now. He's just losing more and more time.
But the huge advantage he's going to have is the pressure softs. Because once the rival softs go off the cliff, he's going to still have 2 more laps of freshness. As he's definitely coming into the pits at the end of this lap. You can tell by the fact that he's using his battery. Because it recharges on the pit lane, you would not go below 10% unless you're pitting, or you absolutely have to for defense. So it's almost confirmed my suspicion. He has to come in.
Yeah,
at the end of this one.
I think you're batting 100, mate. Here he comes.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. It took us 17 laps, but there it is. Track position is key. Just ask the guy who won yesterday. Holding the lead, 15 laps on old softs. But there you go, Tommy into pits for his softs.
Plotter's not getting through says DRS. That's going to be interesting. So we're saying Plotters will get track position over his teammate. That's almost confirmed. Actually, it's going to be way closer than we thought. He's going to be on 2 lap pressure softs for the entire rest of the race, and it's just going to be a race between the 2 McLarens. Chris has yet to pit. I'm 99% sure. Well,
no, Tree Slayer has made a pit stop. I think he pitted at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, so he's actually in the net race lead. This is what I mean by pitting on the hards under the first safety car. As Farhad's actually spun. Farhad spun at the first sector. So that's another person that we thought would be on with a chance of winning, just throwing it away on the curbs. It just shows just how deadly it is. So, Freeslay is actually in the net race lead. If he can keep these hards to the end, he's looking probably at worst like P7, maybe P8. He's looking for points no matter what happens to the rest of the race.
We're just on board with Nosey now. He's pressurising Tango, as well as they're coming into Spoon. You know,
You can just, even in the dirty air, he still has more grip than Tango. But it just kind of shows. And with the, 30-40% more battery he has than Tango.
Another yellow flag, I think that's for Starburst. Yes, it is, but we're
Yeah.
going to stay on board with Nosey
No, we definitely
as they
gotta
come
see
into
him
the
in turn
chicane.
one here from
Yeah,
Nosey.
so he backs out at the chicane. Yeah, he wants a good exit, doesn't he, just to keep behind
And he
Tango.
does get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's 100% got his move. Tango tries to defend, but there's literally no point. He's just wasting his battery at this point.
We can already see the smiles there.
Flotter's getting a pen. Flotter's got a pen and Trees there.
Starburst Stout. Starburst Stout, is that a safety car? It is. It's
That
full
is a
yellow
safety
car. Yeah, no.
Trees there spun at turn 1, so... This is getting too interesting now. Do we see Farhad stop? Yes. Well, he has to. He has no front wing.
Yeah.
So, this race has just gone from crazy to crazy, because we're now going to see people who aren't on the softs most likely pit into softs if they won't lose too much. Like Teresa, he's probably got pit in for softs.
Put 14 laps on them softs. Well done, mate. He's straight in. Luke straight in. Irish New Potato are in. So the back marker's getting the chance to get in early doors. We'll go to the leader, but as we heard in the background, Plotters, there you go, 3-second time penalty. That's going to prove massive, isn't it? Where the guys have been going so far. And of course everyone now has been into the pits.
See, now one thing I doubt we'll see, but something I myself have done in the past, is if Tommy just stays in P2 and on the last lap just backs everyone else up, they can still get the 1-2 in the McLaren. So if they play this tactically, I know maybe if they're thinking for the Drivers' Championship, Tommy will just stay behind Plotters, save the DRS, save the ERS, just defend. But if they're thinking Constructors-wise, Tommy will do that until the last lap as Quasar comes in, and Tango, and off the mediums and hards respectively, and onto softs, along with Tree Slayer. If they play the team game here, they can still get the 1-2 out of this. It will take, a lot from Tommy on the last lap to be able to just let Plotters run away with a big enough gap to P3. But it's definitely a risk they might take, Again, I'm not sure about what the championship standings are like if they really do have strangle the rest of the field, but it does no
Constructors
to think about drivers.
Yeah, Constructors, it's Tango and Menace Max P1, Tommy and Plotters P2.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking they might think about the Constructors here, because Menace Max P4, the Tango in P10. This is a great opportunity for them to try and claw back some points, and if Tommy's watching this, which I know he is, you might want to hear my advice out here, mate.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'll quickly give you the top 5 in the championship. So it's Menace Max. He's 53 points ahead of young Tommy. Tango is a point behind young Tommy. Then you've got Tree Slayer, then you've got Plotters. So that's 2 Mercedes, 2 McLaren, and Tree Slayer in the mix there. And your Constructors, like I said, you've got Mercedes first, it's McLaren second, so that's 86 points between them, so a 1-2 is definitely going to help them.
Is just back everyone up, but try and keep himself within the 3 second of Plotters. That way they still get the 1-2, but he gets the points for the drivers. And since he's second in the Drivers' Championship, that's probably what he might try and do, but that's going to be risky. So, again, we just have to see, will Tommy prioritise the drivers, or will he put the teams first? So, another person to watch about later, Farhad, P14, Tango, P10. We've seen they've had the pace, they were in the leading pack until the pit stopped, up until around lap 12, where Tango went for the undercut into the hards, and Farhad, I don't even know what happened to him when he lost his front wing, but they're going to be on a charge to the field here, along with the Quasar.
Definitely.
They are going to have, a good few lap fresher tyres than anyone else. Plus the pace that they've shown through the beginning of the race. It's really going to be in their ball court here.
You said it before, and Theo is another one to watch. I mean, he's holding his own there in 6th.
Exactly.
He's only got
And where
2
did he
laps
start?
on
He
them.
started outside the top 10 massively.
Yeah,
he
he
started
was.
P15.
He
He
did.
gained
Well,
9 places. Nolsey's gained 11, and Sweet MVP's gained 12. So it just shows
There
you
you
have
go.
to be risky around here. You can't go with the flow that everyone else goes with. Sure, Sweet MJP is still on the mediums and they're old, but if he can defend in Sector 1, hold up the drivers behind him, that's only going to help the leaders. So everyone behind Sweet has to try and get a move on here, because he's going to be the real bottleneck for their race. If they can get past him quickly, then they'll be in a good position. If they can't, then this is going to be race ruined. Because we're going to have a 7-lap sprint, a 6-lap sprint
6
to the end. I've just counted on my fingers, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a 6-lap sprint to the end. I think Tommy knows that he can play a constructors team game here if he wants to. So again, if he doesn't do it, I'm gonna make him seem like a villain because I've said it so much. But you never know. Anything's a possibility. Safety car in the slap. The question is, when does Plodders go?
And we're on board with Tommy to see that happen. So when does Tommy... now,
If Plodders gets a good restart here, then this will definitely help what I was saying about the constructors. Tommy might on purposely get a bad restart to let Plodders run away with it.
I was going to say, he's let him get a second
Plodders
nearly
just gets
already.
a great restart. Tommy actually gets a bad one of his own volition. 1.3 seconds the gap already. So Plodders is almost like we now have to gap to leader. So Plodder right now dropped down to P5. But we've seen he had the pace in quali and in the race, so we'll just see. He's already made it almost P4 with the pen, so as Nosey makes mistakes, he's touching the inside curb, just getting massive understeer, letting the Team McLaren run away here. It's going to be interesting.
I'm just riding on board as well with Tango. He's got 2 cars in front of him going side by side, and he's quick. He feels he's got the pace on both of them, but he's got to watch what they do. He's just got no room to get past. Like you say, with a 6-lap sprint, yeah, that's
just can't get through in Sector 1. And as I said, Sweet is going to be the bottleneck for these fresh soft runners, and that's exactly what he's being. He's being the bottleneck that he has to be. Because this is also keeping Treeslayer in it behind, who's also on the fresh softs that I forgot to mention before.
There you go, and
the longer he holds up Tango and Equator, the more he's helping his teammate out. So, because I have a feeling once the 2 in front of Treeslayer get through, he's just going to move out of his way for a teammate. So, again, it's just going to be how much of the team game do people want to play tonight. That's what's really going to define this.
And I mean, if you look as well, I've just put the times onto leader there. Plotters is already getting a 2.5 second gap to 3rd place, so everything you said before can still happen. Tommy will get his 1-2,
and he has like 5-4 laps to do it.
Because unfortunately Sweet has yielded a couple of places, hasn't he?
Oh, Quasar, he's gone out. Yeah, not out, he's gone off at turn 1.
He's gone off.
Yeah. Oh, side swipe Sweet.
Gets a lot of that inside curve there, turn 5. Is that turn 5?
Oh, F1 fast spun.
Oh, where is he?
So, once again, it's just unfortunate that he's cost himself from inside the points and down to the last. It just shows how costly these safety cars can be. And Tango spun as well. While we were busy focusing on F1 fast, Tango's also joined in at the back.
There he goes, right.
But look at this battle.
This Farhad is bottling, is bottling there. Well, Pottsloff gets a good exit out that hairspin, didn't he?
Farhad has 30% more battery though, which is going to be interesting. It's too far back to go for a move into 130R. But it will definitely be setting it up. Not 130R, spoon. Got very close to the back of Pottsloff there, luckily didn't touch him.
Great reactions there.
Now they're both just going to be wasting their ERS towards 130R.
Well, as soon as he said that, Farhad did turn his battery off.
Yeah, Farhad actually braking through 130R.
The RS is enabled now as Plotter starts lap 24. So So we've got 4 laps to go, including well, 3. As he comes through the first 2 turns, he's a second off, but knows he's closed the gap on Tommy. So
Quasar on sweet, he's finally gotten through.
There you go, you see Quasar just go up the inside there.
Theo getting past Dylan
through
as well.
second one now. Yeah.
Luke pitting for fresh sauce, maybe going for fast lap, knowing that his race is over, and Farth doing the same.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, especially for Farth. That point is doing good.
The only thing is I'll be taking that away from them tomorrow. No. I won't do it on purpose. But no, now we're seeing Plotters has a 2.8 second gap, but he has the same battery as Nosey, so it's a problem. And if Nosey gets within Tommy's DRS, that's the McLaren's screwed almost. So Tommy has to try and keep Nosey out of his DRS, but Nosey's now in, so Tommy might have to do some backup strats now in Sector 3. Sector 1 of these last few laps to get Plotters that gap. As Bradfield gets past Fleet through 130, things you love to see.
Nosey now has got to focus his attention on Menace Max as Menace Max goes to the inside of turn 1. Just Menace Max just backs out of it there, didn't he?
I think he had to, and if he tried to keep it there, he was just going to get turned in on us. There we go. Yeah. Tango getting the fastest lap on his 4 lap odd softs, using most of his battery. I have a feeling Tommy's going to have to back up on the last lap to give his teammate the P1 or P2 here, because his teammate's on the bubble to Menace Max, let alone Nosey, so it's going to be interesting here at this ending. But the top 4 is completely broken away. The gap separating the top 4 is the gap from Menace Max to Theo, so don't expect Theo to catch up to them anytime soon. I think this is just going to be a 4-horse race now. It's going to be interesting to see the ending podium, because Menace Max will be going for it on Nosey. As Farhad gets past Sweet through the hairpin. Ooh, that's interesting, but now Irish New Potato might go for it.
Oh, Sweet's dropping positions now.
Yeah, he completely missed his braking point, or maybe he lost the rear end, but he completely blew up the hairpin, so yeah,
fortunately for him, that's him outside the points. Yeah, Tommy's not letting Plotters pull away just yet.
Yeah, he's keeping it a good 1.8 as Plotters.
Yeah.
They're both running low on battery. Everyone inside the top 4 is running on like 21% battery, and that's obviously not optimal. So
everyone in the
really gonna have to see
everyone in the top 10.
Yeah.
Apart from 10th, you're right there. But we're on the penultimate lap now. And there's the second half between Tommy and Plotter. We'll have a look at the gap to the leader. So at the minute,
dropped down to P4.
Yeah, he's looking at a P4 finish, isn't he? So it's on.
The problem with that is Menace Max is in the top 4 and he's in the Mercedes, so and they're who McLaren are having to fight, so it's an interesting one. The question is, will we see Tommy back them up next lap? Because Sector 1 of next lap is going to decide this race.
Crunch time, isn't it, for
Luke
the McLaren
gets the
team?
Lap of 30.0.
Oh, well done, Luke. So we've been a reserve.
Tango gets past Pot Stuff as well. Pot Stuff getting on the grass on the exit of Sector 1 though. But great stuff from Luke there to set the fastest lap in the 30.0.
So we're just, again, I'm just keeping it on times from the leader. So we're on board with Nosey. It's 2.3 seconds away from the leader. Plotters has broke the 3 seconds to Max, so at the moment in time he's still on the podium.
Just, it's actually half a tenth on the bubble. Nosey's flashing, they're all flashing except from Max, who's now actually flashing as well. So they're all below 10% ERS going into this last lap, and well, the fate of his teammate is all in Tommy's hand here.
Tree Slayer gets past Dylan through the 130
yard. That's going to be an interesting one.
So, last lap.
Will Tommy back everyone up in Sector 1? Because you can't really back them up anywhere else. He's going to have to back them up in Sector 1 if anywhere. It doesn't seem like he is, so...
It doesn't, does he?
No.
As I quickly say, yes, slippery tuna, mate. Always ready for League 2. At least the level
real
of
question
driving
is,
suits my...
Can Max stay within, the 3 seconds of Plotters?
He's back within it now, mate. It's 2.8
Yeah.
between first and fourth. There's a yellow flag further back.
Tango again. He's had so much raw pace, but he's just struggled through that first sector with spins. It's been costly. Menace Max is just outside the DRS now, but sorry for 3 seconds, but he has a good 15% more battery, and with the slipstream through the end of the middle sector, that's surely gonna guarantee him the podium here.
Yeah, the gap now between first and fourth, 3.1 seconds.
Yeah.
Although it's now below 3, 2.9, 2.8.
The slipstream and the advantage on the ERS
2.7.
Unless Tommy can do something in the
Nose,
final game
he's
to cost them
battling.
all a ton of time. Menace Max has gone for it
Max
up the
is
inside
battling,
here.
he has.
This might cost him, actually. With a bad exit, it's actually going to cost him. The fact that he went for the move
it's
cost him the
crashed.
podium.
It has, there you go. Tommy takes the win.
Tommy takes the win. Plotters does take
Nosy.
P3 crucially in front of Menace Max for the constructors. So
Oh, got a point. Fucking bullshit.
Bradfield there.
recovering back to P10 after the front wing break on lap 1. So still a good race.
Disappointed.
That is
Well.
crucial for McLaren's constructors comeback. So this was not the podium we were expecting from the beginning of the race. I honestly was not predicting Nosy to be anywhere near the front, but he's come home in P2, 4 tenths off the win. So just shows that what you see in quality doesn't always equate to the race. He started where? Yeah, he started in P14 and he finishes in P2. And Theo starts P15, ends P5. So quality's not everything. So well done to both McLaren guys, and well done to Nosy for getting anywhere near that kind of comeback. So because that takes talent.
It does.
To get through the field and not get damaged once, as
There you
even the
go.
game agrees, driver of the day. That is crazy.
Right, lads, I am off.
No problem, mate. Thank you very much.
Right,
You've had
no
enough.
worries. Yeah, fucking sick of it now. Right,
Have a good
I'll
one.
catch you another time, lads. Thank you very much, like guys,
No
for doing
problem.
that comments for us, mate, as well. Brilliant,
Happy to do it.
brilliant. Right, I'll catch you boys later. Take
No
care.
bother, mate. Take it easy, bud.
See you later, man. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, as Luke's saying in the chat, hards were not a good idea. As I was saying for the strategy, you either set up the car for the mediums and the softs or the mediums and the hards, and you can tell by the pressures he did not set up for the hards. He's complaining that they were not any good. So it just shows, there's always going to be a split in the setups and, experience compared to lack of. Yeah. No, I'm joking, Luke. Yeah. The setup really.
But there
makes
is an
a huge
element of
difference
truth to
around
that, definitely. No, I wouldn't have thought of that, to be perfectly honest with you, mate. To be,
the thing is, running higher pressures will only help the harder compounds, but running those high pressures on the softs will just make them overheat so badly. Do you want me to invite them all to the party for interviews?
I'm just doing that now, mate. So we've got
Okay.
Tommy. I kind of find his teammate Plotters.
Yeah,
Where's Plotters?
Plotters.
He mustn't be shown as online, so we'll quickly get them in now. There we go. So we'll add them 3 drivers.
Yeah, you can do the questions. I'm good.
Oh, I was going to say this is my worst part, mate. Hey, I'm quite happy to let you, but
Nah, knock yourself out.
well, while we're waiting for them guys, there we go. We'll kick it straight off as he's joined the chat there. The race winner. Another fine performance from both McLaren drivers. Tommy, how was that for you, my man?
It was interesting. Yeah, what can I say? I tried my best to keep Lotus in front, get a good gap to give him a good gap to I think it was Nosy. I nearly lost it in the last lap, so yeah, fair play to Nosy. they didn't go for the move. Yeah, it was an exciting race.
It certainly was, mate. It certainly was. Again, like yet another podium. I'm sure you've got to be up there with the record of podiums now since you've been in the server. Again, another race win, and this time, of course, you had to work with your teammate. Were you talking, like we said in chat, trying to work out what to do, get the best for a 1-2 finish for you? Because it was on for a 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, we're always in the party to talk about the race, get the strats right, and make sure that we don't double stack, obviously. Yeah, we just try to make it out somehow, and it somehow worked really good. Yeah, the safety car was kinda the messed up part, because it would have been a safe one too, I think, if the safety car wasn't there. So, yeah. But still a good result. I mean,
definitely, mate, definitely. And we'll quickly skip over Nosy 1 second, mate, and we'll jump on board your teammates. So again, Plotters crossed the line first, but still ended up a podium with your teammate. Was that the best you could have hoped for today, given that penalty?
Yeah, it was frustrating in the end because obviously I think I was only 100th or so off of Nosy. But yeah, shout out to Tommy because I was sort of telling him to try and hold the others up so that I could try and get a 3-second gap and we could get a 1-2. So he was sort of putting himself under pressure and falling back to the guys behind just to try and keep a gap to me. But yeah, the penalty wasn't ideal, but yeah, I mean, great points for the team, and Max wasn't too far off me, so I've got to be happy with P3.
Well, I'll quickly ask you both then. Were you listening to Sly guys talking commentary there and saying, you know what, he's right there, I think we better do that? Or was you not listening to the comms and just getting on with it yourselves?
I didn't have the stream on, so I wasn't.
Yeah, I had it on, to be fair. Just real quiet, but to get like a few infos with the race, but yeah.
No, that's fair. You take any advice, and if I heard that, I'd be like, oh, this kid knows what he's talking about, so I'll do I'm going to try that.
I mean, the main reason for my victory is Kieran, because he's my race engineer. Just need to mention that.
All right, shout out to Kieran. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm liking this. Guys, just, you know, I mean, you offer your knowledge to each other, and everyone did it with me, Tommy, when I first started, and it's just getting better and better all the time. You know, we'll always encourage each other and, you know, keep each other optimistic, but now to be sitting in the party with people, watching the stream, you know, talking to each other about this, that, and the third, to have a better, enjoyable race, you know, I think it's great to see, and the fact that you're basically all doing it for nothing and just for the love of the motorsport game, I'm just fair play and respect to you all for doing that. Like I say, I'll give Black Box a shout out as well, because he does the same. And again, Sly Guy getting on the comms box and, you know, relaying his knowledge. Again, it's just getting better and better and better. So both McCowan lads, once again, great stuff on the double podium. And we'll quickly get along to the man who's been patiently waiting. Nosy, another podium. I think that's about 3 for this very short season you've had. How did you find that race today, mate? No, again, yeah, it's both has again the day shown. It's not about where you start the race; it's where you finished, and yes, pushing all the way till the end, pressurising the McLarens in front of you, and yeah, again, it Yeah. Oh well, it's unfortunate. Yeah, mate. I don't. Oh, how do I peck you up? Right, we'll get on to Bradfield in the Discord to get you some hugs, mate. But no. But no, but for me, mate, I thought it was wonderful to watch. It kept the pressure on right at the end. Max, I don't know if he was trying to go for a silly dive bomb at the end, and he just managed to hell him off at the end. So that take a little bit of you just yeah. Well, the game give you a driver of the day, and you're certainly going to be up for a shout out for driver of the day when I get back on the Discord. So, but anyway, mate, from me, well done. I still enjoy watching your race, mate. No problem. Sly Guy, anything you want to add?
I just want to say that was great teamwork from you two and the McLarens. No matter how you dice it up, it was amazing to see two people work well together. Because you don't see that often in league racing, it's actually a good change to see, teammates working together to try and pull together, a double podium. And the same from you, Nosy, as you've said, the driving wasn't the best. Sadly, we didn't see that, so I can't comment, but still a great comeback from you from where you started on the grid. So, you all did great, but can't put much else on it, because you two McLarens, you would have broken away without the final safety car, and Nosy, you just had great pace throughout it all. So, great drives from all three.
Cheers, man.
There we go, and that just leaves me to say thank you very much to everyone who took part, everyone who tuned in, and an absolute extra special thanks, Sly Guy, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this with you, mate, and I hope we can do plenty more in the future. Honestly, mate, if that was your first time, you're a natural at this, mate. You're an absolute natural. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. And that's it until Champions League tomorrow, where we'll see Sly Guy in action along with Tommy. And I don't know, Plotters, are you driving, mate?
Nah, I don't think I am.
No, I lose track of who's driving what league now. But anyway, same time tomorrow night, guys, for Champions League around Japan one more time. Until then, everyone, bye for now.